What's up, everybody? Chester AP Church Devotional Podcast. Welcome back. We'll get started in just a second. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us this morning. As we get started in Romans chapter 3. And spending our time, a little bit of time in Romans 3, 21 through 26 and 31 as well. Sorry I missed yesterday, back today. But now apart from the law, the righteousness of God has been revealed or made manifest, attested by the law and the prophets. The righteousness of God is through faith in Jesus Christ, to all who believe, since there is no distinction. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. They are justified freely by his grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus. God presented him as atoning sacrifice in his blood, received through faith, to demonstrate his righteousness, because in his restraint God passed over the former sins previously committed. God presented him to demonstrate his righteousness at the present time, so that he would be the righteous and declare righteous the one who has faith in Jesus. Where then is boasting? It is excluded. By what kind of law? By one of works? No, on the contrary, by a law of faith. For we conclude that a person is justified by faith apart from the works of the law. Or is God a God of Jews only? Is he not the God of Gentiles too? Yes, of Gentiles too, since there is one God who will justify the circumcised by faith and the uncircumcised through faith. Do we then nullify the law through faith? Absolutely not. On the contrary, we uphold the law. Now, I chose to read this out of the Christian Standard Bible this morning, the CSB. I usually read out of the ESV, English Standard Version. The beauty of the Christian Standard Version of the Bible is that it kind of takes a little bit of liberties with helping us understand exactly what Paul is saying. The ESV is typically more in line with the actual words of the Greek text, and so it's more of a literal translation. And sometimes if you don't fully understand the context out of which Paul is writing, and many of us don't because we live in the modern era, then we may get a little confused. Now, it's more familiar to me to read out of the English Standard Version, but I think the Christian Standard Bible helps here. We talked last time about the righteousness of God, which has been revealed, which has been made known. That's God's character. That's God's willingness to make his people him. God's perfection is made known. It's been attested to by the law and the prophets. It's made known in Jesus Christ. Christ made it known. Then verse 22 says, the righteousness of God is through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe, since there is no distinction. We receive the righteousness of God through faith. It's not something we earn, rather it's something that we receive as a gift of God. So God makes us righteous, and he goes on to explain that down here. He says in verse 26, God has presented him to demonstrate his righteousness at the present time, so that he would be righteous, he would be right, he would be perfect. Jesus would be righteous and perfect, and God would be righteous and perfect. But he also would declare righteous the one who has faith in Jesus. And so when we talk about righteousness and justification and being justified in Romans chapter 3 and being made right before God, it is a reference to the fact that God says, hey, you are right in my eyes. Now we know our sin makes us unrighteous, right? It makes us wrong in God's eyes, enemies. But God says and declares, you are right. You have done the right thing. Though you've broken the law, though you have gone against my will, I still will make you right. And the way he can do that is because Jesus himself was perfect. Jesus fulfilled the law perfectly on your behalf, on my behalf. And Jesus lived a perfect life. And so God came and made known to us his righteousness in Jesus. And then through faith, we receive the gift of God's grace, where he gives us Jesus' righteousness, the righteousness that Jesus earned for us on our behalf. So Jesus not only died in our place, Jesus earned the right for us to get into the presence of God eternally by his life. And so that's important for us. And so when Paul talks about how we're made right before God, he says that we're made right before God because Jesus has done it, and we believe that Jesus has done it. We receive that by faith. And it's not just for the Jews, and it's not just for the Gentiles. It's for everybody who believes. Doesn't matter who you are, whether you bear outward marks of religion or not. You trust Jesus, right? And if you trust Jesus, then you have received the righteousness of God, which you have gathered by faith. We'll talk about atoning sacrifice tomorrow. That's all I have time for today. You guys have a great day. God bless you. Give God thanks today for the fact that he has made you right in his presence, and God is both just and justifier. He is both righteous and declares righteous those who trust in Jesus. That's you if you've trusted Christ today. Have a great day. God bless you. See you soon.